think it's become obvious something big is happening at Warner Brothers in regards to DC Comics, and unfortunately it might not be a good thing. The recent activity from Warner Brothers has me very concerned. It's become more and more obvious that WB is unable to get a grasp on how to adapt their DC Comics characters onto film. The 2017 film Justice League was a big sign when it flopped as hard as it did, but the constant restructuring is also not a good sign. More recently, DC Comics shut down their independent comic imprint known as Vertigo Comics after 25 years of publication. That was quickly followed by the mysterious halt of production as well as the cancellation of the DC Universe original series Swamp Thing. It was apparently canceled due to the high cost of the series. But quickly following that, it was announced Warner Brothers would not take up Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con in 2019. To make matters worse, the DC booth, which is normally front and center and one of the largest in the entire convention, was reduced to a small booth in the back of the facility. These are both big indicators of something going on at DC Comics and DC Films. Soon after that, people began wondering if the DC Universe streaming service itself was in jeopardy because Warner Brothers announced their streaming service, Warner Media HBO Max. When it was announced that DC Universe would continue to stream content independently, some people breathed a sigh of relief. But now I'm not so sure it's such a good thing. Why wouldn't Warner Media just include that as part of the service? Unless, of course, they knew DC wasn't going to be around soon, so there was no reason to include them in their strategy. Forbes recently ran an article basically asking if DC Comics even has a place in the new Warner Media vision. The sad answer is probably not. This has caused the rumor mill to blow up with the idea that DC Comics is also about to be shut down. Now there are rumors that WB has just canceled the new Batman, Superman, as well as Suicide Squad video games. Now this rumor comes from Cosmic News, and that site kinda sucks and runs with just about any story they hear. The only thing worse than them is We Got This Covered. Those both make up their own news whenever they feel like it. But every now and then they do get accurate news. And given everything else that's happening right now, they might have a real story on their hands with this one. All of this adds up to potentially really bad news, even if the Cosmic News story ends up being trash. Is Warner Media just going to shut down DC Comics? They could still make the movies and make some money, but they'd be sitting on the comic properties. But even the films have had their share of flops. But to imply they are stopping video games kind of means a lot. I don't think Warner Media would just sit on this kind of property. It might not be the kind of moneymaker they're looking for, but it is a moneymaker. So what they could be doing is cutting their costs as much as possible while showing that DC Comics is a viable property through television, animation, and merchandising. This could potentially make DC Comics a worthwhile sell for them. If Warner Brothers just pulls the plug on DC Comics and does nothing with it other than enjoy toy sales, that would be a true travesty for all of us true fans. But if they're setting up for a sell, this could be a godsend. As much as I dislike the idea of Disney owning DC Comics, I still can't help but think about the amazing possibilities. At least they would produce great DC movies that respected the characters as well as the fans. And who knows, maybe one day they could build up the DC universe parallel to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and do a massive crossover. How amazing would that be? That would make Endgame look like nothing. Of course, this could all just be WB cutting costs, but given the astronomical numbers Warner Media deals with, DC Comics might be more trouble for them than they're worth, especially since they can't seem to get it right on film. Maybe they think they can make their money by selling it to more capable hands. It might be a good time to start that GoFundMe I always wanted to so I can buy DC Comics. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for future content.